Well, guys, it's getting pretty clear cut what needs to happen after the week nine of the season cleared up. For Seattle, it's getting nice and simple. So let's forget about all the mathematical scenarios and possibilities right now. Either we win out or we're playing for the draft. So these last couple weeks, I knew this team wasn't very good. I knew this team was losing. And I knew this team was probably not going to get very better in the foreseeable future. But I still had that, still kind of on my mind. I still thought to myself, our division's weak. Arizona might not be that good. Kurt Warner has always been a delicate person. He could end up getting hurt, etc. I was thinking all that. It's somewhere in the back of my mind. And at this point, well, we're getting close to the point where I can stop thinking like that, because Arizona, they haven't lost to a bad team all year. I think we can, for the moment, assume that they're for real. Their 3 losses have come to 3 teams that have a good chance at making the postseason right now. They're all teams with winning records: Washington, the Jets, and Carolina. And us, if we won out at this point, we'd go 10-6, and that's the minimum. So it's that simple. And looking at this team, I don't see a team capable of rolling off 8 straight wins. So, but I know the possibilities there, and I hate that, because it's still on my mind no matter how much I don't want to think about that. So next time we lose, whether it's this week against Miami, next week against Arizona, or whenever, that'll be that. And I do hate this. Don't get me wrong. I hate this. I hate sitting here talking about this end of season scenario already, because we're 1 loss away from that. I hate that. But it is what it is. So Seattle loses 26-7 to the Eagles. The game. Thought it was a pretty clean game. There were only a total of 5 penalties called, I think, all game, which that's pretty good. Both sides played pretty clean, and actually a lack of penalties is one of the few things that I like about this team this year. We're avoiding those penalties. Mike, gotta respect that. Offensively, well, we had the one good play. The 90-yard touchdown pass on the first play of the game that, of course, gets you all excited and hopeful and thinking, maybe we'll get it together today. Maybe we can do this. No. I mean, it's a cool play. I don't want to take anything away from that play, because Coro just ganked Toledo Shepard. I mean, Shepard just slipped and fell down because of, I think it was a double move. And then he juked Dawkins, and it was just off to the races. And Robinson's a fast guy. He's a speedy guy. So, that play was cool. Other than that, offensively, Jones had a nice run. Morris had one nice run that went for about 30 yards. Carlson had one big gain near the end of the first half. Other than that, there's nothing good to take out of this offensively. Take away those 2 big plays, one by Morris, one by Jones on the ground. We couldn't run it. The running was just very inconsistent. We couldn't depend on it. Couldn't complete passes, and other than that, those 2 plays I just mentioned, we couldn't move the ball downfield. We had dropped passes. We had off-target throws. About the only other positive I can bring here is we didn't cause turnovers, but the reason for that is we never made the attempt to put a ball in a position where it could be turned over, and with that comes the fatal flaw of never taking a chance, and you have your result. So there's not a lot of good to talk about here. I really don't think anybody played too well. You have to realize the first play of the game accounted for 90 yards. Rest of the game we ended up gaining like 143 total yards, and most of that was on the big plays that I mentioned: the catch by Carlson, the run by Morris, that one run by Jones. Other than that, it was 2-3 yards a pop, or a lot of times it was nothing. So it was just futile, frustrating to watch, because I watched that game for like 3 hours, and offensively I saw 4 positive plays. That's bad. I shouldn't have to tell you about that. I mean, we lost time of possession like 23 minutes to 37 minutes. That tells you a lot right there too. So I will give my props to Corin Robinson for making that big play, because you guys know his story, kind of. He was a very talented player coming out of college, but he had alcohol problems, derailed his career, and now he's back. Before today, he hadn't really done anything. Today he had one big play, and if that's the way I remember Corin Robinson for the rest of my life, if that's the last thing I remember from Corin, you could do worse. So I'm glad to see him make a play, get in the end zone. I know a lot of Seattle fans love to see that, because our union did not work out, but we got to make do with what we have. So I'm glad to see he came back and made a play for us. So I don't think we played that well. We were just overmatched. I don't want to call any of these guys out too much. I mean, Wallace completed less than half his passes. We were very inconsistent running the ball. We had some drops. Receivers couldn't get open. Blah, blah, blah. I don't want to get on them too much, because I don't think it was for lack of effort or lack of technique. I think it was just being overmatched. I mean, we know how good the Eagles' defense is. Sometimes they don't quite bring it, but we know how good they can be. We've seen it. We have seen it against teams like Pittsburgh and first game against the Rams, I guess. And if you just look at the talent that they line up every week, they're very talented. And I don't want to. We didn't play well, but sometimes you're just overmatched, and you can only be what you can be. Defensively, good first quarter. We were really keeping McNabb down. He went 3 of 13 to start the game, I think. He had the interception in the red zone after the Eagles started actually moving the ball proficiently near the end of the first quarter. We actually managed to hold them off for a couple more minutes by picking off a pass in the end zone. Mostly the first quarter was just them being very unbalanced. They called like 3 rushes and 13 pass plays. We were getting pressure. We were covering the receivers well. We were making some plays on the ball. So, all that's pretty sweet. And then we wore down. Some of that was the offense not being able to do anything after that first big play. Some of that was just the Eagles' defense coming to. Part of it was probably us being outmatched. Again, that's just the truth. This is a talented offense. After that first quarter, McNabb went on a tear. He was just unstoppable for the rest of the day. On the whole, I thought our defense played better than I thought they would. I mean, McNabb had a great day after that first quarter where it was just awful. But we did not get torched by their receivers like I thought we would. I thought Curtis or Jackson was going to just destroy us, but it ended up being Brent Selleck. So I don't know why a tight end would happen to be the one to do it. Maybe it's our safeties or linebackers. Maybe it's because Tubu's not there. Maybe it's just that Leroy Hill had a bad game. I don't know. But we did a pretty good job against Westbrook, and then we got tired. We started giving them everything they want through the air. That's all I got on this game.